Hi, everyone. So today I'd like to talk about the nature of duality. So on this earth plane, we have this concept of duality, or this reality, really, of duality. And duality simply is comparatively black, white, sun, moon, boy, girl. What seems to be like this polarity that is here. Now, what's happening right now on the earth plane is that the space between these polarities, it's growing, it's getting wider, meaning that the light is really, really, really getting bright, and that the dark is getting really, really dark. Now, what's happening is that there is this separation that is happening, and it's very visible, and you can see it in our current climate right now with everything that is happening in our country and across the world. So what we really need to do is to be able to integrate these two aspects of not just the world, but our inner world, right? So one way that we can do this is through what's called shadow work, a term or a concept coined by Dr. Carl Jung, a famous Swiss psychiatrist who actually studied under Sigmund Freud. So this process of shadow work is actually integrating those aspects of self that we deny, those aspects of self that we were taught at a very young age that were bad or were not good. And so we needed to kind of push them aside. And what happens when we do that, we push these aspects of self aside, they begin to grow in the dark. And they become what we call the shadow. So the shadow is actually nothing to be feared. It's not a scary thing. It's actually just aspects of yourself that we need to recall and integrate into who you are. So it's really easy to see the light and the purity of our actions and the things that, we deem that are good, and, that the world really looks at as good and pure. But taking those aspects of self that are considered, bad, and bringing them into the light. For example, I was called bossy as a child, and it was a negative connotation, and I thought it was a bad thing to be bossy. So what happened is that those aspects of myself, those leadership aspects of myself, I pushed down and I pushed away. And when I did that, they grew into unhealthy aspects of that leadership, which is controlling. Which is, maybe competitive, like, aspect of leadership, or, the lack of not enough, not being enough. So bringing these thoughts and these emotions into the light and really beginning to dissect them and say, okay, so is this true? Are these thoughts true? Is what I'm experiencing true? And what are the emotions that are attached to these thoughts? And then feeling these emotions all the way through so that we can begin to know ourselves, know who we really are, what we really are, and to become integrated. So what the world is showing us right now is the separation, which is the illusion, right? Separation is the illusion. Right? And the separation begins within, and it's a projection outward that we are all projecting outward. So the only way out of this mess that's been created for a long time is to go inside. It's to go within us and to be able to break down that separation or that war that we create within ourselves, right? To create that harmony within ourselves, to create that oneness within ourselves. And when we begin to do this, each of us on an individual level, through being with like-minded people who are on the same path, our world will begin to change. Our physical reality that is being projected will become altered in a more favorable way because of the inner work that we're doing with the shadow work, with the integration back to oneness. So thank you so much for listening. I want to remind everyone that we will be having our retreat in February 2022 in Costa Rica called Design Your Life, an Immersive Heart-Centered Retreat. This retreat will introduce these concepts of integration, how to heal on a deeper level so that we can create our reality the way we want to, and not to be triggered all the time, and not to have these emotions that are, really leading us, rather than using emotion to create life as we want. So again, thank you for listening, and I hope to see some comments on this video. Please comment, ask any questions. I would love to answer. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.